Sure. That's probably the most remarkable day of competition I've ever been associated with. From the time we got here till now, remarkable. Never seen a group of people empty the tank, pitch after pitch after pitch after pitch after pitch, starting this morning from the time they got here until now. It was remarkable. So take with that and write whatever you'd like, because everybody in our team contributed, from pitching to hitting to cheering to running the bases to bunting to playing defense to picking each other up to inspiring each other to caring. They all had a part in it. So it was a very remarkable effort. You saw one amazing college baseball game in the nightcap, and should be a lot of fun tomorrow again at 6 o'clock.
Coach, you said it was a team effort by everyone, but I can't help but notice Rock Reggio's performance over these 4 games in this regional. He's batting over .540. He's got 4 home runs and 16 RBIs. And just the other day we talked about his defensive ability. I want you to kind of speak on his offensive ability and what he's brought to your team in this regional.
Well, he was pretty inspirational today. I mean, he was kind of the vitamin that got the energy going. He was that little, pill that got us going. I mean, he was storming around and his hair was down and he was letting it all hang out. I mean, you saw everything he had in him to play the way he played. But if we really want to talk about just people emptying the tank, Trevor Martin, Mitchell Stone, Nolan McClain, the 2 kids that caught the games, the gritty little ball players in the 1 and 2 hole, the freshman Miola with the big hit. I mean, there are so many kids that just played with a fearlessness that allowed those things to happen. So Rock was really good, but I tell you what, there was a lot of guys that were running right there alongside him, including the big Viking with his big homer in the first game that, kind of took us from what we were down. I don't know, we were down like 12 or 13 runs or whatever it was when he hit the grand slam, and it turned the page on that. That was a moment right there too, because you had to get through that first game in order for the second one to happen. So just countless kids. I mean, like I said, I'm just so proud of them. To compete like that is hard. To compete like that for 10 straight hours with no break in between is incredible. And to do it after last night's kind of punch in the gut, it just tells you everything you know about these kids.
43 runs in 2 days. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
I just told you at the start, that was the single most remarkable effort to just keep going, especially tonight when we had that lead and then, we let it slip away. And we responded in the next inning and got 2 runs again. Just incredible bounce-back ability that these kids are displaying. This is something they'll never forget, and then it'll always make them know they always have a fighting chance at anything they do, no matter how low the odds might seem at the time. But no, I've not seen kids fight this hard. It's just it's remarkable.
Have you ever seen a guy be able to, put the dagger in the game like Nolan did, and then immediately go out and close the game?
Well, I've been telling you since the start of the year how special he is, especially early in the season when maybe he hadn't found his stride yet, but he's doing remarkable things. And in this particular regional, he's hit some balls to all quadrants of the grid for home runs. He pitches. He plays a great third base. He is tougher than nails.
I want to ask it sounds like a stupid question, but I'm serious. How do you guys do this today?
Just try to keep it fun. Days like today are kind of what you dream about growing up and things you want to be a part of when you're a little kid. So when it finally starts to happen, you're just trying to have fun with each other and create memories. Griffin texted us all last night and said, let's just create some memories together. And at this point in the year, that's all we're trying to do is just have the most fun we can and compete our butts off.
So what's the memory for you today? What do you take away from this insane day?
Just 10 hours of a lot of fun with some of the best people I've ever met. So, yeah, it was a long day, but it's probably one of the most fun days I've ever had.
Mitch, I saw you walking off the field, give Josh a big high five and then transform it into a hug. What did that moment mean to you?
Oh, it meant a lot. For us to win that game, and it was emotional. It was great. I'm just happy we won the game, and it just goes to show how whenever you keep fighting and keep punching, you have a chance to win anything or do anything.
It also shows somebody in their 5th year that stuck it out, fought through injury and fought through tough times, is present for his team at a time when they needed him most, and that was pretty darn awesome. Not many guys get to the end of the road like he did, and I appreciate him for being loyal to his program and delivering when we needed him the most.
There have been 39 home runs hit in this regional. Have you ever seen your ballpark play this small like it has the last 3 days?
I don't think he's playing that small. I think there's some incredibly strong individuals hitting these balls. The third baseman for Arkansas has got some of the strongest hands I've ever seen. He's elite. Our kids hitting them aren't hitting cheap homers. Where those balls are going, they're going. Now, there's been a few maybe lofted in the air to left field that I would say were not homer balls off the bat that blew that way. But I would challenge you to say most of the balls that have been hit have been crushed.
And then what's your pitching situation like tomorrow?
I'd like to go home and have dinner and figure that out, okay?
Coach, you mentioned Trevor Martin, but just more on him and the effort that he gave longest outing of the season, and you saved your staff for him too.
Had to, just like Mitch did. There's no tomorrow. Someone has to step up. I mean, this is who we are. We got what we got. This is us. If it's going to happen, we got to do it. He stepped up. We needed that from him, and he did it. He delivered, just like Mitch did. It was fantastic. Very proud of him. Showed some toughness and some resolve that, quite honestly, he grew in big ways because, that was an offensive team that he ended up shutting down that had already scored some runs yesterday against Grand Canyon, and those kids can hit. Missouri State can hit. Obviously, we got in their bullpen a little bit and outscored them, but that was not an easy lineup to shut down.
No, after all these innings today and emotions, I mean, what do you guys have? Your coach said you guys emptied the tank. Can you refuel and be ready
For about $7 a gallon, we'll go refuel as soon as we get done here.
Or no, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, luckily we're pretty young kids, so after a good night's sleep and tons of water, hopefully we feel good tomorrow and do the same thing.
We'll be ready to play tomorrow. We'll be ready.
The vibe like in the dugout when you're down 12-0 Missouri State?
It never wavered. Every single one of us had faith in each other, and we knew we were going to pull it out.
We've done that before. We did that against Texas. We did it against ORU. These guys know they have a roadmap now. That's why it's so important things happen during the regular season you can reflect back on and draw some confidence of how to do it again.
Coach, all year you've talked about how special this group of guys is, and then the first thing you say today, after today's long day, is that it was a remarkable performance. That doesn't seem, that seems almost fitting for these guys, the way you've talked about them and their camaraderie throughout the course of this year.
Well, it's remarkable because they got behind by 11 or 12 runs, whatever it was, and they kept fighting, and they found a way to win that game. And then they fought tooth and nail with an excellent Arkansas team and found a way to win that game. And they did all that after coming off of a little bit of a hard loss last night. They're resilient. They're tough kids, and everybody gets all up in arms over last night's game. I'm glad my players don't react like everybody else does. Really glad. In fact, I appreciate them like nobody's business. So I'm super proud of them, proud of the effort, proud of the determination the coaches put on display to come back today and put a good game plan together. And I can't wait to see what they got for us tomorrow.
Mitch, what's it like for you when the offense's bats are going so often and you can kind of sit back and like this? I don't want to say relax, but your nerves are a little bit calm. What's that like for you?
Oh, it's great. Anytime the offense can help you out as a pitcher, you enjoy it.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.